Hi everyone, this is Kruti Jai Bancholi, Assistant Professor in LG Institute of Engineering and Technology in Department of Electronics and Communication. This video is about subject Microwave Engineering. Unit is Analysis of Microwave Transmission Lines and Waveguide. From this video, you will learn about Transmission Waveguide, Rectangular and Circular Waveguide Part 3. So we have also learned in the Part 1 and Part 2 of the video about the transmission line, what is the waveguide, what are the types of the waveguide that we learn. Now, waveguide parameters. Mainly these are the waveguide parameters: cutoff wavelength, guide wavelength, group and phase velocity, characteristics, wave impedance. Cutoff wavelength. Cutoff wavelength, the mode that can exist and sustain in a waveguide, are a function of a waveguide dimension and frequency of the propagating signal. Each mode has a cutoff wavelength. For a particular mode to sustain, the wavelength corresponding to the signal frequency must be less than the cutoff wavelength for that mode. The cutoff wavelength for a rectangular waveguide for TE and TM mode is given by lambda c is equal to 2 upon square root of m by a whole square plus n by b whole square. A is the wide dimension of the waveguide and b is the narrow dimension of the waveguide. The cutoff wavelength for the circular waveguide with its internal diameter d is given by the lambda, it is equal to pi d upon kr. So this we discussed in the last lecture about the cutoff wavelength. So the kr for the TE01, TE11, 21, 02, TE12 and TE22 modes are given. Okay, so we need to consider this value for solving the cutoff wavelength. Kr for the TM01, TM11, TM21, TM02, TM12 and TM22 modes are 2.4, 3.83, 5.14, 5.52, 7.02 and 8.42 respectively. This is the table for the mode and the cutoff wavelength. So according to that, you can remember these equations for writing down the answer with the very less calculation. So TE10 mode, that's a dominant mode. Okay, so for that the cutoff wavelength is 2A. TE11, TM11, TE20, TE01. So according to the mode which can propagate through the waveguide, we can go for the cutoff wavelength equations. Next is the guide wavelength. It is denoted by lambda g. What is the guide wavelength? Wavelength of the traveling wave propagating inside the waveguide is always different from the free space wavelength. So the free space wavelength is lambda and the wave which is traveling through the waveguide. So inside the waveguide, the wavelength that is different. So the guide wavelength that is denoted by the lambda g, the cutoff wavelength is lambda c, and the free space wavelength lambda that are interrelated by the equation lambda g is equal to lambda upon square root of 1 minus lambda by lambda c whole square. Now when the free space wavelength that's very less compared to the cutoff wavelength, okay, so at that time we can say that this lambda by lambda c whole square, that value that is again much more less than 1, and we can say that this is the lambda g is equal to lambda. So we can keep in mind that whenever the lambda is much more less than the lambda c, the guide wavelength that is equal to the free space wavelength. Now next parameter, group velocity and phase velocity. Now we also learned earlier about this velocity. Okay, so the velocity of the propagation is the product of the guide wavelength lambda g and the frequency. So it is frequency is c by lambda. So Vp is equal to lambda g upon lambda into c. Now when a modulated carrier travels through a waveguide, the modulation envelope travel with a velocity much less than that of the carrier and even less than the speed of the light. So the velocity of the modulation envelope is known as the group velocity Vg. So Vg is equal to lambda upon lambda g into c. So the phase velocity and the group velocity equations we need to remember for solving the example. So Vp is equal to lambda g upon lambda into c and Vg is equal to lambda upon lambda g into c. Now Vg is less than Vp. The group velocity that is less than the phase velocity, then the modulation keeps slipping backwards with respect to carrier as the modulated signal travels in a waveguide. So we know that the c square is equal to Vg into Vp. So for the waveguide filled with the dielectric constant, this Vp value is equal to square root of epsilon lambda g upon lambda into c. So it is Vg is equal to, again equation is lambda upon square root of epsilon lambda g into c. So this is the wave velocity, okay, and it is the group velocity. This is the transmission line or the part of the waveguide. Okay, so that what happened, the waves that can be travel, okay, and it strikes onto the wall of the waveguide, okay, and inside that the waveguide we can have the wave velocity and the group velocity. Okay, so again the concept of this transmission line, with this analogy we can also understand this is the ocean, these are the waves, okay. So group velocity, that is this, and it is what, this is the wave velocity, okay. So this way we can also keep in mind. Now next is the characteristics wave impedance. Generalized expression for the characteristics impedance Z0 of a waveguide for the TE mode is, again you need to remember this equation. Z0 is equal to 377 square root of mu upon epsilon b by a lambda g upon lambda. Okay, mu is the permeability of the waveguide material, epsilon it's a permittivity, b and a are the dimensions, narrow and wide, lambda g, okay, guide wavelength, and the lambda, that's a free space wavelength. So by putting all the values we can find it out, the characteristics wave impedance for the TE as well as the TM mode. So TM mode Z0 is equal to 377 square root of mu upon epsilon b by a lambda upon lambda g. For the circular waveguide, A is equal to B. For hollow or air-filled waveguide, epsilon equal to 1 and mu is equal to 1. So TE mode Z0 equation is 377 B upon A lambda G by lambda. For the TM mode, it is 377 B by A. It is reverse lambda upon lambda G. So you have to remember that whenever the examples are given, that for the hollow air-filled waveguide, and if it is not related for the any material, take epsilon and the mu equal to 1. If it is a circular waveguide, A is equal to B. So for a waveguide filled with a dielectric material of dielectric constant epsilon, for the TE mode, characteristics impedance Z0 is equal to 377 B by A square root of epsilon lambda G upon lambda. For the TM mode, it is Z0 is equal to 377 B by A lambda upon square root of epsilon lambda G. For hollow or air-filled circular waveguide, as we said that A is equal to B, so both can be cancelled. So it is a TE mode, Z0 is equal to 377 lambda G by lambda. TM mode lambda Z0 is equal to 377 lambda upon lambda G. So for a circular filled with a dielectric material of a dielectric constant epsilon, TE mode, Z0 is equal to 377 square root of epsilon lambda G upon lambda. TM mode, Z0 is equal to 377 lambda upon square root of epsilon lambda G. The characteristics wave impedance for TEMN mode is related to the free space characteristics impedance. It is Z is equal to Z0 upon square root of 1 minus lambda by lambda C whole square. So this is the one example, that is, let us calculate the cutoff frequency for the first 4 modes of WR284 waveguide. Okay, the waveguide dimensions are A is equal to 2.840 miles and B is equal to 1.340 miles. Converting the metric units, we have 7.214 centimeter and B is equal to 3.404 centimeter. Okay, so these wave 1 inch is equal to the 1006 miles. Okay, so from that the 1 inch is equal to 2.54 centimeter. We can convert them into the centimeter. So now we'll find out the value. For FCM is equal to C by 2 square root of M by A whole square plus N by B whole square, where C is equal to 3 into 10 raised to 8 meter per second. So for the TE10, we'll take M equal to 1, N equal to 0. Putting all the values, we can find out the wavelength, cutoff frequency. Again, TE01, TE20, TE11. So for the different mode, we can find it out the cutoff frequency by using this relationship. Okay, so TE10, as I said, that you can keep in mind. Okay, the FC10 is equal to C upon 2A, C upon 2B, C upon A. So this way we can find out the the cutoff frequency for propagating the different modes. Show that for a TE10 mode, a frequency of 8 GHz will pass through a waveguide of dimension A is equal to 1.5 cm, B is equal to 1 cm if a dielectric with epsilon r equal to 4 is inserted inside the guide. So now we know that the A is equal to 1.5 cm. So cutoff wavelength, okay, here again you can see that TE10 mode. As I said, TE10 mode, it's a dominant mode, and we know that for the dominant mode, the cutoff wavelength is 2A. So don't write the full equation and put the M and N value. Okay, so it should not be the complicated during the exam. So TE10 dominant, lambda c is 2a. So putting the value of a, it is 3 centimeter. So wavelength corresponding to 8 gigahertz is 3 into 10 raised to 8 upon 8 into 10 raised to 9. It is equal to 3.75 centimeter. Since the wavelength to be propagated is higher than the lambda c, so the waveguide will not, the signal will not propagate. So when the waveguide is filled with the dielectric, the lambda dielectric is equal to lambda air upon square root of epsilon. This lambda air value, okay, that is the 3.75 square root 4 equal to 1.875. So which is less than the 3 centimeter, and hence 8 gigahertz frequency will pass through the waveguide. So this way we need to solve the example. Next, a rectangular waveguide has wide and narrow dimensions are 4 and 2 centimeter respectively. What is the minimum frequency which can be transmitted if a dielectric of epsilon r equal to 4 be inserted inside the waveguide? A is equal to 4, B is equal to 2, okay, wide and narrow dimensions, okay, lambda c 2a, so it is 8 centimeter, FC it is 3 into 10 raised to 8 upon lambda c, it's a 8, so 8 equal to 3.75 gigahertz. Minimum frequency can be passed without the dielectric is 3.75. Now if you insert the dielectric, what is the equation of lambda? Lambda dielectric is equal to lambda free space upon square root of epsilon r. What is this? It is 8 upon square root of 4. It is equal to 4 centimeter. So FC is equal to 7.5 gigahertz. So minimum frequency can pass through the waveguide is 7.5 gigahertz. Show that a 1 gigahertz signal cannot propagate in the TE mode in a rectangular waveguide having a wall separation of 5 centimeter. Cutoff wavelength lambda c for TEMN mode is given by lambda c is equal to 2 upon square root of m by a whole square plus n by b whole square. A is equal to wall separation, lambda c is equal to twice a upon m is equal to twice a equal to lambda 2 into 5 equal to 10 centimeter. So free space wavelength is this divided by 10 raised to 9 equal to 30 centimeter. As per the free space wavelength is greater than the cutoff wavelength for TE10, this mode cannot propagate through the waveguide. So this is about the few examples related to this. So you can also solve, you can do the practice of solving each and every parameters of the waveguide. So thank you very much everyone.